Hey guys, Mark with Think Insurance, and today we're going to dive into the three different types that PNC, personal lines agents, tend to fall into as category. First step is all three of them need coffee, and coffee is the main reason I'm still here kicking on this channel. By the way, if you're subscribed, I appreciate everything that you guys have done as far as watching the videos and commenting and connecting. I really love the network that we're starting to create. I really should create a name for you guys. For now, we're going to call you channel members. For those of you that are interested in giving back, I don't monetize this channel as far as sponsorships. That's something in the future I'm looking and talking to about doing. For now, it's me and my custom built studio that I've created. So this is to kind of build up the guide to give you guys the most advice or the best value that I can give online that hopefully helps everybody else. I've got 10 years plus experience in the industry. I've written over $4 million worth of business, new business coming in on the personal line side. If you guys are interested, because I love coffee so much, I did join the buymeacoffee.com website. So if you get enough value out of this and it's something that you want to give back, there is a way for you guys to buy me a cup of coffee. I will take as much coffee as you give me. So let's dive into the three types of agents. And this is actually a training that I did about 1.5 years ago where I created these profiles of agents because we were getting into almost a lull with some agents, and it was half a little bit of a motivational piece, but halfway to kind of plan your year and know what to expect. This is one of the ways I was so successful. I wasn't always the guy that would necessarily write everything down, although I did have many journals with goals in them. I typically had a set, easy thing for me to remember, and I would lock it in my mind. When things got hard, when things got challenging, I would constantly remember these three things that would usually boil down to one answer, which typically was more clients. How do I help more people in order to gain more income or more freedom or more whatever the situation I'm looking for? Maybe you just need a set of tires on your car, and that's the goal that you're working towards. Those are great goals to have, but you should set a realistic expectation that if you don't do X, Y, and Z, then you're not going to reach that goal. At the end, you all will make it as long as you know that you just have to stay around the flagpole. It really is a matter of getting through the step. But the first type that we're going to dive into, which we're going to go into now, is typically not a fit for the industry in general. They're needed, they're there, they're kind of filler, and it is what it is. They come to collect a paycheck and they go home at the end of the day. No questions, no worries, whether they sold a policy or not. They don't hire or fire themselves every day. So this person we call the sad man. Essentially, they're a person that only goes through what they have to do in the day. If the boss gave them a task to do, they slowly do that task. When there's downtime, the instant they pick up their phone, the second they have a moment free, and they'll spend 10, 15 minutes until somebody walks by and then they quick put the phone down, or until the phone rings and they'll grab it, but they'll kind of half be on the phone. Don't get me wrong, not all agents are that way. So if you see an agent with their phone in their hand, they may have been doing it for 12 years and can literally multitask, finish their game while they're talking on the phone. It's crazy if you've done it long enough how you've got everything memorized and you're just really looking to know if you're going to have a fit for somebody. So if you're a typical customer that is on this channel, then you're kind of seeing the other side of it where we've done it long enough and we know exactly where to put you. We just have to have some of those questions answered so we know which route to take with you. But the sad man never dives in and never goes on LinkedIn. They never look for somebody to connect with. They never look for ways to create business. They just assume that the business is coming in. If you're an agency owner, you're wanting to feed your guys. You want to give them as many leads and as many opportunities for them to be successful. So you're probably buying all web leads or some sort of lead system, and you're probably doing what's called an X-date dial list, and you're doing all sorts of things. But at the end of the day, that person is not likely going to be the one that's going to push your business forward. Let me give you a really good example. Okay, great. Well, I'll go ahead and email it to you. You're in sales. You're supposed to ask them to buy it, regardless of if you're competitive or not. If you didn't get the value pushed forward, which is in this video if you want to learn how to do that, then you've got a bigger problem than just asking them to buy. You need to find what customers are looking for, how to fit that need, And you got to ask them to buy the freaking thing. So I'm sorry I'm coming down on the sad men a little bit. They're actually great people. They're just not motivated to move their business forward. When I started my final position in insurance, I made it a point to mentally know that regardless of what lead I get, regardless of the company that they feed me to, I'm going to get it. I'm going to make it work. If I have to go out on the street and look for my own leads, I'm going to. If I have to purchase my own set of leads, I'm going to. And luckily, the company that I ended up with ended up feeding me so much that when I went and said, I want to work on Saturday and I want to come in and I want to buy my own leads to move myself forward and build my book, they simply understood and built a plan around what my goals were so that they would feed me enough leads so I didn't have to outsource that just because they were willing to put that extra effort in for the person that was wanting to move forward. The sad man also doesn't work on goals. They don't typically have a set plan. So January hits, they go to the party, they come back, they might want to lose weight for 2 days and then they quit. They're having energy drinks. That's just your typical person. The average man or the average person is pretty good. They're actually a decent employee. They show up. Sometimes they play on their phone. Sometimes they get in that lull and they're next to the sad men and they fall into that. But other times they get out of it. They're more apt to answer the phone more often. They make a decent income. They're sometimes on LinkedIn. They're sometimes doing extra work, but they really don't have their goals put in place. They're not propelled and they don't know what numbers to hit. So if you want to hit 50,000 in premium this month, what do you need to do to get to that? How many phone calls do you have to answer or make or both, right? Those are two different things to get to 50,000 in premium. Now, if you're seeing me and you actually work with me, I know 50,000 is actually a low number to us because we do have the volume. Or if you're in an agency, that's a high number because it depends on where your marketing budget is and how fast that you're growing. That is typically the person that will connect with 1 or 2 people on LinkedIn. And that's really all you need is a really good connection. Once you find 1 or 2 people that are looking to connect and trade leads and give you customers and like see if there's other fits for each other, then there's going to be a large benefit out of that. That person could get lucky there. They aren't going to necessarily know where they're going just because they're not looking. And then you've got the third type, which I call the crusher. And the crusher was essentially me on steroids. It's the guy that wants to work on Saturday even though he's salaried because he wants to get that extra sale. And you guys are going to judge me for this, but I actually sold a policy in a hospital while my wife was in an in-and-out surgery once because I just didn't want to miss that extra piece. Some people are so driven that they just want to be successful. And that person you need still to direct if you're an agency owner or a manager, and you still need to help them go where they want to go. But all in all, you need to stay out of their way. Make sure they hit the guidelines, make sure they're doing well, and give them any tools that they need to move forward. That person is going to connect with at least 3 to 5 people a day on LinkedIn. They're going to be on there. There's no phone calls coming in. Let me find someone I can connect with that I can help get the phone to ring. Maybe I can go out and reach out to somebody. Can I get a list of all of my clients so I can mail them a letter and tell them I thank them for being part of the family? Or maybe can I call all of my monolines? Give me a list of those guys so I can call them to find. They don't want to sit down. They're there to work. So there you have it. Those are the 3 types of insurance agents that I've seen throughout the years. So at this point, this is where you guys chime in. Let me know below what you've seen in the past in your insurance history. Have you been around a lot of sad men or women or crushers or average people? There's a lot of averages out there. Are you one of them? What are your next steps to get out of that? It doesn't necessarily mean you have to come in on a Saturday or every Saturday or give up time with the family. It's something that you can do during your normal 8-hour shift or whatever the case is. Or maybe you work a couple extra hours on a weekend. I would be curious to know if you have your goals set into place. Do you know what it takes to hit 50,000 in premium? If you do, put it below. I'd love to see it. If you guys want more advice or more tips like this, subscribe to the channel. We're going to get a lot more of this. I'm Mark with Think Insurance. I will see you in the next one.